Hello everyone, and welcome back. If you're holding Ethereum in your wallet, just waiting for the price to go up, you might be leaving money on the table. Today, we're going to talk about staking. Now, before we get into the technical jargon, I want you to imagine something very traditional. Imagine you buy a government bond. You give the government your money for a set period, and in return, they promise to pay you back with interest. You aren't doing any physical work. Your capital is doing the work for you. Ethereum staking is very similar. It is often called the internet bond. By locking up your Ethereum, you aren't just saving it. You are actively helping to secure the entire network. And for that service, the network pays you a salary. But unlike a government bond, which is just a piece of paper, staking involves software, validators, and a few different ways to participate, depending on whether you have $100 or $100,000. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how this works, the three main ways to do it, and the risks you need to watch out for. Let's dive in. To understand how to stake, we first need to understand why Ethereum needs stackers. In the old days, crypto networks like Bitcoin used proof of work. Imagine a room full of people racing to solve a really hard math puzzle. The first person to solve it gets to write the next page of the transaction record and gets paid. This requires massive amounts of electricity and expensive computers. Ethereum switched to a system called proof of stake. Let's use an analogy here. Imagine a very exclusive club of guardians. Their job is to protect the bank ledger. To become a guardian, you don't need a supercomputer. Instead, you need to put down a massive security deposit, specifically 32 ETH. This security deposit is the stake. Why the deposit? It's about trust. If you do your job well, checking transactions and blocking fraudsters, you get paid interest on your deposit. But if you try to cheat, or if you're lazy and don't show up to work, the bank takes a portion of your deposit away. This penalty is called slashing. So, proof of stake is a system where financial commitment replaces computational power. The security of the network comes from the fact that validators have skin in the game. They have something to lose. Now, you might be thinking, wait, I don't have 32 ETH. That's a fortune. Can I not stake? Yes, you can. And this brings us to the most important part of today's lecture, the three paths to staking. Since everyone has different budgets and technical skills, the market has developed three different ways to stake. To explain this, I'm going to introduce you to three fictional characters, Sarah, Tom, and David. Path 1. Centralized exchange staking, the Sarah method. Let's meet Sarah. Profile. Sarah is a busy professional. She owns 0.5 ETH. She is not tech savvy. She essentially treats her Coinbase or Binance app like a bank account. How she stakes. Sarah logs into her exchange app, finds the earn or stake button, and clicks confirm. That's it. What has happened? The exchange takes Sarah's 0.5 ETH, pools it together with thousands of other users' ETH, and sets up the validators for her. They do all the technical work. Pros: it is incredibly easy. If you can log into email, you can do this. Cons: Sarah is trusting the exchange. As the saying goes, not your keys, not your coins. Also, the exchange takes a cut of her profits, sometimes up to 25% of the rewards, as a service fee. Verdict: good for absolute beginners who prioritize convenience over control. Path 2. Liquid staking pools, the Tom method. Next, let's meet Tom. Profile. Tom is a DeFi enthusiast. He knows how to use a MetaMask wallet. He also doesn't have 32 ETH. He has about 5 ETH, but he wants better returns than Sarah, and he doesn't want to lock his money away forever. How he stakes. Tom uses a liquid staking protocol, like Lido or Rocket Pool. The coat check analogy, think of liquid staking like a coat check at a fancy event. When Tom gives his 5 ETH to the protocol, checks his coat, they give him a ticket back. In Lido's case, this ticket is a token called SDETH. Here is the magic. This ticket is worth money. Tom can go trade this ticket, use it as collateral in other apps, or just hold it. While he holds the ticket, the value of it increases, or he gets more tickets daily, reflecting his staking rewards. Pros: it is flexible, liquid. Tom can sell his SDETH back for ETH whenever he wants on the open market. He doesn't have to wait for an official unstaking period. He also keeps custody of his funds, not an exchange. Cons: smart contract risk. If the code behind Lido or Rocket Pool has a bug, Tom could lose money. Verdict: the sweet spot for most crypto natives. You get rewards plus liquidity. Finally, let's talk about the gold standard. Let's meet David. Path 3. Solo staking, the David method. Profile: David is a developer or serious investor. He has accumulated 32 ETH, the full requirement, and he has a spare computer at home. How he stakes: David downloads the Ethereum software, clients like Geth and PRYSM, connects his computer to the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and deposits his 32 ETH directly into the official Ethereum deposit contract. Why would David do this? Maximum rewards. David pays 0 fees to anyone. He keeps 100% of the yield. Sovereignty. He relies on no one. No exchange. No smart contract pool. He is the bank. Network health. This is the best method for Ethereum itself. It keeps the network decentralized. However, this comes with the responsibility of the guardian. If David's internet goes out for a week, he bleeds money, minor penalties. If David accidentally runs his validator on 2 computers at once, a big no-no. He could be slashed, meaning the network confiscates a chunk of his 32 ETH and kicks him out. Verdict: only for those with significant capital and technical patience. Now that you know the methods, let's look at the math. Where does the money come from? The annual percentage yield, APY, usually hovers between 3% and 5%. This yield comes from 2 buckets. Consensus layer rewards, new ETH created by the protocol to pay validators. Inflationary rewards, execution layer rewards, tips paid by users who want their transactions processed quickly. When a network is busy, a bull market, fees go up and stackers earn more. When a network is quiet, rewards dip. The risks checklist. Before you stake a single dollar, you must understand the risks. Illiquidity. Unless you use the liquid staking method, Tom's method, your ETH is locked. Unstaking is not instant. It can take days to process the exit queue. Slashing. As we discussed, if the validator misbehaves, you lose principal. This is rare for pooled staking, but a real risk for solo stackers. Opportunity cost. While your ETH is locked earning 4%, you cannot sell it if the price of ETH creates a massive spike or crash. You're married to the asset. So let's summarize. How should you stake? If you're nervous about technology and just want to set it and forget it, look at exchange staking like Coinbase or Binance. You pay a fee for peace of mind. If you're comfortable with a Web3 wallet and want to keep your funds liquid and movable, look into liquid staking like Lido or Rocket Pool. This is currently the most popular method for a reason. If you are a whale with 32 ETH and you want to support the revolution directly, buy a dedicated mini PC and become a solo validator. Staking is one of the most fundamental shifts in the crypto industry. It turns Ethereum from a speculative asset into a productive asset, a digital commodity that yields a return. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.